Hello, my name is Dr. Rick Tovar. I'm an emergency physician and a sworn law enforcement officer in the state of Wisconsin. I also work as a tactical and medical advisor for Team 1. Today, Marcus and I are going to demonstrate something that we think that all police officers need to understand and know about and potentially treat themselves and others for, and that's a bleeding extremity. Last year, I did a tactical tip on the emergency bandage. What we're going to do is talk about the emergency bandage in a brief overview and review, but then we're going to talk about what happens when your emergency bandage doesn't control the bleeding. Now, this will be a fellow police officer, a skill that he can perform on another police officer. So the first thing we have, for example, is you have your medical kit here. Now, this medical kit is a simple medical kit that can be placed on your belt, on your tack vest. You can have it in a patrol car, but usually we recommend at Team 1 that you have it on your person like you would your handcuffs, your OC spray, your taser, or your firearm. This is something you would use in an emergency and you really don't want to go looking for it. In that medical kit you have an emergency bandage, which we'll go over, and you have a tourniquet. Tourniquets are becoming back into use, especially during the war, because they are actually saving lives, especially when it comes to extremity, that's arm and leg bleeding. So let's say, for example, one of your fellow police officers suffers a wound to the arm, right here, at the shoulder level. Okay? Now, the first thing you want to do, if that police officer is able to do so, he goes ahead and puts pressure on the wound himself. So Marcus will go ahead with his other arm and put pressure on this arm with his hand. He'll start squeezing. He doesn't need gloves for his own bleeding. The second thing you want to do is go into your medical kit and get the gloves. Okay? So you get your gloves on, and then you tell him, Marcus, hold pressure while I use the emergency bandage. If you Google emergency bandage, there are numerous vendors out there that will be able to help you with that. The nice thing about it is it says other side to wound, so it's pretty straightforward. You go ahead and let Marcus put his hand out of there, and you go ahead and you quickly apply the bandage. And hopefully you'll be able to stop the bleeding. You can see that I can do this rather quickly. Even in a tactical environment, you can go ahead and put this bandage on and get some bleeding control. And at the very end, you'll see you have the little plastic parts that'll basically let you go ahead and put the bandage on with ease. This is really an emergency bandage tactical tip. This is a tourniquet tactical tip. The bandage is now on, but the bleeding continues. Marcus knows it, and I know it. The bleeding continues to have a problem. Maybe you slowed it down, maybe you haven't touched it at all. The bleeding is right here at this site. What you want to do then is apply a tourniquet above the bleeding site. So you have, again, this in your medical bandage. There are numerous tourniquets on the market. If you Google tourniquets, you'll get numerous tourniquets. This happens to be a CAT tourniquet. I have it preloaded. For tactical officers, you should probably put it right here on your vest, and so that you can take it off with one arm or another. As a police officer, patrol officer, you can have this in your medical kit. You want to have it preloaded. What does that mean? You've already got this thing ready to go through either an arm or a leg. I made it handy for an arm, but it could be made wider for a leg. And it's a Velcro strap that you can actually make bigger. And I'm going to make it bigger. You can see most of us put our boot and our thigh through this. The next thing you want to do is have Marcus stay still, and I'm going to put it through his arm and go above the emergency bandage. So I go over his arm. And actually, Marcus can help me with this too, but this is a two-man thing. He can help me cinch it up. The next thing you want to do is take it off the Velcro and make it tight. You can see this bar here is called the windlass, W-I-N-D-L-A-S-S. And this is what's going to actually make the pressure on the tourniquet. I'll then fold it around, all right, and I'll leave it right there. And then I'll start basically twisting. I'll twist until the bleeding stops. Marcus will tell me it hurts, but we'll twist until the bleeding stops. The next thing we want to do is pin the windlass into the plastic part here and cover it with Velcro. And we're done. Okay, I'll take it off to show you again. You can see the Velcro part is right here. We slip it right into the little encapsulated curve, put that right on there, we're done. And the pressure is on. Now, how do you know how tight the tourniquet is? The tourniquet is tight enough when the bleeding stops. This can all be practiced one-handed, this can be practiced two-handed, this can be done by somebody else. So that's our tactical tip for today. Any law enforcement officer in any tactical situation should be able to do this.